What's up, guys? So this morning I woke up kind of late, like at 8:30, and anyway, long story short, I woke up 8:30, whatever. I went to bed like at 10. I've been sleeping in my truck the past 2 days. I guess I caught up on sleep from like the past 2 weeks or something. Not that I didn't sleep those past 2 weeks, but it was like a couple hours a day and stuff. This week I really tried to get some rest for my game yesterday. It's weird because I noticed that right now I went to the library because the free therapy Zoom session that I have on Tuesdays, they're offering like another group therapy. It's called peer-to-peer, like a peer-to-peer class. It's free, you know, it's on Zoom. I missed last week. I had Halloween on Friday. My mom brought me Halloween, and that's not an excuse. I didn't set it up properly, but once I got Halloween, I totally forgot about anything else I had to do. But last week was the first class of the peer-to-peer, like peer-to-peer, people who, like a class with people who also have similar issues as you, like a mental disorder. Could be anger issues, could be depression, could be paranoia, schizophrenia, freaking, you know, multiple personality disorder. It could be eating disorder, chronic pain, you know, anything you're going through as a human, you know, it's a free. So, but it's on Fridays, it's for 2 hours. So I missed last week, but I'm looking forward to going to it today, whether I have Halloween or not. You know, just I gotta figure out where I'm gonna do it. If I have her, I don't want to be in the parking lot of McDonald's using the Wi-Fi. I'll probably go to my mom's, you know, and just have it going on my headphones. Or if I don't have her, because my mom hasn't texted me back if she's coming, then I'll like be able to. I'll just chill. I won't bother to be around my mom, you know. I won't be a burden to them being around them. I'll just use the Wi-Fi at McDonald's, you know. But the lady who runs it, her name's Ileana. She gives you like an email with like the materials you'll need for that week. So I guess she sent us chapter 2 like a couple days ago. So I was gonna go to the library and print it all out, but I don't want to waste the $7 in printing it because it's like a 57 page, like the second class. I think it's like a 10-week class. So the second week, it's class 2, and it was 57 pages, and at the library they give you 10 free pages, and every other page is 15 cents, which is a good amount because you are wasting their printer ink, you know. So I went back to the email she sent, and it said I'm sending you guys the class material and like to print out if you can. She said if you can, just to follow along. But I think on the Zoom, she's able to pull up, like she'll probably pull up the book, you know, on the Zoom, because they do that on Tuesdays for the support group therapy, which is the Tuesday class, which is about an hour and a half from 6 to 7:30. So this is a cool course, you know. It gives people, I guess, like to be able to still go do some sort of nightlife on like a Friday, because it's from 5:30 to 7:30. Most of the people who attend these therapies aren't like super young. There are some younger people. So anyway, when I went to the library, I noticed something about me, and it's crazy because they had the library is offering free COVID tests, but there used to be like I think one security guard and one other like a male employee. And these COVID tests are offered outside, right? They're offered like in the parking lot area in front of the library. So they're sitting under a canopy. But today it was only 2 ladies. And I noticed something about myself, like, which I think I've always noticed, but I noticed it. And like now that I'm grown, I want to feel like I want to talk about it. But I noticed that I didn't care to park like right in front of that tent today, because I noticed it was just 2 ladies that were working. I noticed that it was only 2 ladies that were like sitting underneath the tent. I didn't see another man, you know. So I didn't care about parking right in front of them. I didn't give a fuck about the type of car that I had. You know what I'm saying? I didn't give a fuck. Like, I was even like confident, like, oh, ladies, like older ladies, like, oh, I'm gonna smile at them. It's like, and when I was backing up, because I like to park backwards, because sometimes I get a little embarrassed that I put like my plumbing license. But the reason why I put that is because part of it is because I'm homeless, and I kind of want people to be, oh shit, this is a homeless young. He doesn't look super old, but this guy has his plumbing license, and like this, like you drive by any neighborhood, there's gonna be like, you know, workers, you know, trabajar. How would you say it? Trabajaneros or something? Trabajaneros. A lot of working people with older trucks, and like they might see me and like they could get a little more respect for me. Even though that, but I didn't leave like my number or nothing. I just left the license number of my license, and then they could look it up, and it might be suspended, but it's only suspended. Like you just have to pay a reinstatement fee, you know. But I took the test, so I might not have to take the test again for a while, you know. And even if I have to, I could pretty much learn things pretty quickly. You know, you learn things mentally quickly, you know, verbiage, you learn stuff like that quickly. But in the field's different, but you could also learn that quickly. It's just what you're willing to do. Are you willing? Some people aren't even willing to study and learn it, but they're more willing to go out in the field and learn like the little tricks of it. But there's always a technical side of everything. There's always a business side of anything you do. Like even people who are fashion designers, you know, the hardest part is the business side, the business management side. But going back to that, I didn't care because there was no man right there to like judge me for my beat up vehicle. Like I guess we care more about our own gender. Like we care about how our gender feels about us, I guess you could say, you know. And which I don't think it's a fucked up thing. I just think it's a thing we should be aware of, you know, and a thing you should probably like, I don't know. I even like that I'm homeless, and sometimes I forget that I'm homeless. Like, I don't want being homeless. I'm not looking for your pity or want to look down upon myself, or I'm not trying to fucking feel bad about myself. I'm gonna park that thing. I don't know. I'm gonna park looking this way. So you know what I mean? Like whoever's watching this, like, kind of recognize yourself. That's most important. Recognize like stuff, and I don't know, you know, part of it is being a victim of humiliation. I don't want to say bullying, because I wasn't like getting super punked. You know, I wasn't getting super punked. You know, it wasn't a group. It was like more one person. Like, I didn't grow up in an area where it was like, I don't know. Thank God it wasn't like a group, because I was also kind of athletic myself. So I think if I was like maybe came off a little more like softer when I was younger, an opportunity might have came up where a group formed around trying to make me feel bad. But when I was getting humiliated as a young kid, it was by pretty much one particular individual who was more physical and like kind of violent towards me. But then it was like, mostly I would say it wasn't not necessarily. It's like when a few people start making fun of you, everybody else kind of feels like they could do it. So I would say it was a group thing, but it wasn't like, you know, in the movies they show like, oh, it was this set of girls or this set of boys, or this, like, you know, I was kind of athletic myself, but I was kind of quiet. So since I was athletic, I think more people didn't try to like punk me, you know. But they would say some mean shit to me, you know. And I think a few times, even growing up, like in high school when I got a little older, there was times where I had to speak up for myself, and I kind of, I would, you know, challenge them, you know. And so I think part of that is just kind of my distaste for the male gender, you know, my distrust for them and stuff like that. You feel me? Which kind of caused a lot of other things in my life when it came to group settings of male, you know, team sports, or, you know, any type of business, because in a business you need a team, you know. So it's just crazy that I recognize that in myself. Then I kind of got another story to tell that, like, it's kind of fucked up, you know. This is in my city and stuff, but so I wake up, I ate a lot yesterday. I was like, you know, I kind of want to go running before I eat, but I was really excited to do my laundry because, like I said, I put like my dirty clothes like right by my feet. I should start putting it in a bag, but my bags are used for some of my clean clothes. I just gotta get a bag, or at least some hefty bags. I should have went to the dollar store, separate my socks, and like just have a couple bags right here instead of just letting them just sit there, you know. But get all musty and shit. But so I was so happy just to do my laundry. It was Friday. I was like, okay, I rested, so tomorrow for sure, like, trying not to spend a lot of money. I'm gonna just use my EBT card so I don't spend some of my cash, you know. Probably snitching on myself to the fucking feds, but who cares, you know? I don't have shit anyway. The police don't even pull me over because they fucking been seeing me. They know I'm not a fucking I'm not a fucking rapist or a fucking Gacy, you know, a fucking creep like that Gacy fuck. I watched that shit on Netflix, that Gacy, the fucking clown killer. He's not even a clown killer. He was like this. You guys gotta watch it because everybody just thinks he's a clown killer. I know when my baby mother and we went to the like serial killer museum in Hollywood. It was pretty cool actually. It's a little pricey, but it's pretty cool. But everybody thinks that Gacy guy, I didn't know about him. I thought he was like the clown killer. I thought he killed a bunch of little kids. He went to parties as a clown, but they just use it as like a marketing thing. You have to watch it. Really, this fucking guy is like a homeowner, he was just a perv. Like, he just, like, literally an undercover gay guy trying to live normal with a wife and kids. And he even did it twice. Like, he tried to live like a normal wife and kids, but he was trying to be a politician and shit. And like, it's fucking creepy, bro. It's fucking creepy. And I got another creepy story I gotta tell you guys, but so anyway, I go to the Jack in the Box. You know, I put all my stuff in the dryer. This is a shopping center, so I put not in the dryer. I put my clothes in the washer. I walk to the Jack in the Box to use the restroom. You know, my morning restroom. You know, usage, and I know the ladies there, and so I go use the restroom. I'm like the old man that goes to these places and flirts with you, but I'm not even old, you know? So anyway, long story short, there's a lady that works there. Her name's Rosalba. And Rosalba was like, when I was younger, like a girl that I was like so in love with and shit. We went to junior high together and went to high school for about a year, and then I ended up moving on to a different high school. And she's a very beautiful woman. And but this one's Rosalba too. And it's like the only second Rosalba I ever met in my life. Rosalba. Rosalba. I feel like it's Rose and Alba together. I wonder what Alba means. Maybe like beautiful plant. It's not Alba. Sounds like a plant, don't you think? Or beautiful, like something with nature. This lady Rosalba is actually very naturally beautiful as well. So I just, like, I try to do it where, like, I heard her voice, and I don't know, I don't want to seem like lately I've been like kind of just using the restroom, but maybe eating something else in the morning, or like just trying to sneak into the restroom, and I don't like that, you know. Sometimes I might not even be totally hungry, but I'll buy something, especially like at McDonald's. I'll buy something, especially when I use their Wi-Fi. So I go use the restroom, I come back out, and I order my coffee. I think I paid for it before I used the restroom. Oh, I hadn't even used the restroom yet, actually. So I get there, and I noticed there's another dude that I noticed he walks every morning. He's like a heavy-set guy, and you can tell he's a very kind guy, but that I think he has something wrong with him medically, or maybe mentally. But he walks every day, and the neighborhood guy, you know? And shout out to Big John, my barber. He knows him too. Like he's actually told me about him. I actually seen him saying what's up to him. Like Big John was in his car driving by, and he stopped to talk to him on the outside. I'm telling you, that guy just walks every day. And then like I talked to Big John about it. He's like, yeah, that guy walks every morning to go get his breakfast, and he does. So he'll order from Jack in the Box or wherever he goes, and he'll just sit there and eat there. And like, it's pretty cool. It's a cool perspective, you know. He's kind of motivated me to eat there sometimes, you know. And there's even another guy in that shopping center. His name is, I don't want to mention his name, but I guess he used to be in that shopping center on drugs. and now he works for the supermarket that's in that shopping center. He works there, and I think the church gave him a spot to stay. And a few people that I know, like that old man that's on methamphetamines, my friend Odin, that drives in his car, and you're like, come here, like he's always constantly on the move. He just had the heart attack, remember? He mentioned his name. He's like, yeah, I remember. He's doing good now. And the first thing that comes into my mind is like, man, he must be battling mentally every day to stay on the righteous path. But if you go to that supermarket, you see him working. He's like mopping the floors, and if you have to use the restroom, he's usually the one who comes and taps in the code, because that's a procedure where they don't give nobody the code. They make sure they let you in. It's a really good procedure, I think. So, I see him at the Jack in the Box too, eating very solemnly, you know, and just like moving slow, and just like, and I think it's pretty cool. My mom goes to the church that's helping that guy out, you know. I guess that man I'm talking about, I think I might have mentioned his name on right now on accident, but I'm gonna try to keep it discreet. The man I'm talking about who used to be in the shopping center, like kind of maybe on alcohol or drugged out, or just like kind of not living a normal life in society. Now that he's doing good, that guy I'm talking about. Like, oh yeah, I guess you know, they're helping him out because he grew up in the neighborhood, you know, and so that's just another like, I guess, to tell you what's up with the neighborhood. You're probably like, man, this guy knows all these people and stuff. He knows what's going on, but yeah. So okay, so when Rosalba, I order my coffee, she gives it to me, I pay for it, and I noticed on her forearm right here, like right here where the arm's at, you see that arm on my arm? See where the skull meets, like across, you know the forearm tattoo people get? She has an infinity sign. So I said, oh, infinity, because I always try to just I want to be positive, you know? Some mornings everybody has different attitudes every morning, you know? I was actually talking about that with the same Jack in the Box workers last night, because that's what I ate after my game last night. Jack in the Box, you know? I can use EBT, and I got some coupons. But so I go there today, and it's just Rosalba. It was good to see her in the morning. I noticed she smoked cigarettes because when I finally left, she was on her break, and I noticed she was there talking to somebody on the phone by a vehicle. I guess it's hers. They started to look familiar, you know. But when I walked by, I smelled a little cigarette, but I wasn't gonna look at her and judge her or nothing. My grandma smoked. You know, I just ain't gonna judge her, you know. She's a beautiful woman, you know. But anyway, so I noticed her at the counter when I was getting the coffee. I noticed her infinity sign on her arm. So I said, oh, infinity sign. And she's like, yeah. And then I said, and like, I just, you know, me trying to be charming, I'm like, infinity, beautiful. But right there's like this 2-person seat right by the window. It's pretty cool. Right by the window where you can see the cars coming by, you know, the drive-through and stuff. And there's just like a 2-person small table for, like, you know, a date, or just 2 people, and you can just 1 person, you know. And there was just one guy sitting there, and I kind of noticed, you know, I'm pretty smart, and I gotta be aware of things really quickly, or I choose to be, or my life has taught me these type of skills. But I noticed that, like I said, I noticed Robert, the guy that I would say the guy with the disability. He walks from his house to the Jack's or wherever he wants to eat at the shopping center, walks back. You know, I see him walking I seen him, you know, he's just, you know, walks to the store, whatever he needs, you know, he's just surviving, just existing, you know, existing positively. And so I lately since I become familiar with Robert, I say what's up to him, you know, and he kind of doesn't say what's up to me. And I'm kind of weird too. I'll say what's up, not really trying to engage, more just trying to carry on too. So and I'd be more friendly with those type of people just because I want to be, you know. I'd rather spend my energy on the people that have disabilities, or the outcasts, or the, you know, maybe the downtrodden, you know. So anyway, all of a sudden, so I did notice that guy, and I noticed on his face he did have like, if he was cut up or like his face was like maybe just, I don't know, he looked like something was up with him, you know. So anyway, wasn't paying attention to him. Like I said, I just mind my own business. So, but I guess he was being very fucking in silence, you know. He was, people pay attention to shit. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I guess he was. So I told her infinity symbol, and then I was like, okay, this is kind of smooth, you know. I'm trying to learn how to be confident with women and just get to know them. So, and I didn't say it in a way like I wanted her to hear, like a disrespectful way, or even in like a super sexual, flirtatious way, like a perverted way. I was like, just a flirty way, you know, just a flirty way. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like my stepdad, I guess, which I never thought about this, but I guess because he could have been cool with me. He could have got me to like, to the point, he could have talked to me, communicated with me, like, you know, if he could have just shown me what it was to mean to be a guy around guys, you know, just to be around guys, you know, and separate that between that and being a husband and being, you know, a man to your woman, you know, like once you walk into the house, you leave all the other shit there, you know. That would have been a great conversation, especially for someone like me. And I could talk about that too. This could be a long ass process of conversation, but because I've been in places where like guys who were employees, they didn't give a fuck about who I was. They were just there to get their check, so they don't give a fuck about you, and they're quick to put a stop to you real quick. So I've been to jobs where I took the shit that I had to carry with me, and I wasn't the most friendliest, or not that I was disrespectful, but I was kind of tense and stuff, and a little like I was competitive, but I didn't communicate it, and I just wanted to do the job to the best of my ability. And I guess I was afraid to bring what I had to the table, but I guess when you don't communicate it, they're just seeing it. You know, they just see like a freak. You know, they just see someone who's just working like a madman, doesn't take a lunch, and doesn't talk to nobody. So they just think I'm better. Like they get the misconception. You know, like I'm an MC. They get the misconception. Shout out to Talib, or shout out to Mos Def. I think that was Mos Def's bar. Actually, I think it was Talib Kweli. MC is short for misconception. Yeah, because I noticed how I noticed his pattern of rap. And it's crazy because when Kanye came out, some of his people that he was into, I was into as well, you know. Not to say Kanye's my peer or anything, because obviously I'm younger than him and he's a billionaire. But going back to so I told her like, infinity sign, but she was walking away to just continue working. I'm backing up from the counter. I said, oh, infinitely beautiful, or something like that. And all of a sudden, as soon as they said it, that guy sitting there, he's like, oh man, that was a good one. That was bars. So I'm thinking, okay, so he's willing to conversate. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll talk to him, you know? And so I started talking to him, and he's like, so I'm trying to explain what I meant by that, like I guess I'm trying to like cover all angles, you know. So I'm like, yeah, you know, like, you know, the infinity symbol for me was a surprise. Like I never knew she had tattoos. I just think that was dope. It was dope to see that infinity sign. It's a dope tattoo to see. Like I could take that little symbolism and continue being positive. I just thought that was dope, man. I thought that was dope, you know. So I tried to explain that to him. And, you know, I like to use an infinity symbol. I told him, you know, I like to use an infinity symbol too. You know, like when I'm texting my homies, you know, so like I have friends, sometimes we text like, you know, we say I love you, or we put like, you know, I love you, bro, you know, or like I tell my family that, or my friends are like, you know, they like to put like, you know, the 100s emoji, you know. They like to put the 100 emoji, or the praying hands, or like, you know, the heart for like, you know, or stay strong, or the handshake, or the fist pump, or the peace sign, or, you know what I'm saying? Like we like to use these emojis, you know, something like, and I'm faded. I don't give a fuck about like, some people think it's lame talking about emojis, so in my head I'm thinking like, you know, before I would be like, oh, it's lame, but now that I'm older, like and I want to be more positive. I don't want to beat myself down for thinking this way, or just put negative energy out there. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna tell him, like, you know, sometimes I do emojis with my homies, and I started thinking to keep the conversation going. I'm like, but he was kind of a. I just wanted to talk. Actually, I just wanted to talk. So I guess I wasn't being too much of a good listener. But I did pause a little bit to give him some time to speak. But he was kind of a negative person. I'll tell you why. So I don't know how Nipsey Hussle came up. I don't really know how it came up. But, and shout out to Nipsey, rest in peace, bro. Shout out to TMC. I don't know how it came up, but he mentioned like TMC, something about Nipsey Hussle, and I don't know how it came up, and because it was weird as I was walking, I'm walking right, I'm like, yeah, like I think this was even after the conversation with him, but I thought it was so amazing how, like, I think it's so amazing now. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a fan of a few rappers. I have like a style of rap that I enjoy, you know? I have a style of rap that I enjoy. I like the old school flows. And I kind of, I don't know, I'm not like a rap historian. I'm not that, you know? I like to do music. I listen to who they say is the best. I listen to them to kind of match myself with them, to kind of see why people think they're the best. And you understand why I'm bringing this up, because I'm not trying to act like I was a Nipsey Hussle fan before, and I'm not knocking people that have really begun to admire Nipsey Hussle now, even though he's passed. Because really we have to bring that up, because people, it's an easy thing to say, oh, people only love you when you're dead, or the people that were fans before, they like to cling on, like, you know, they feel like they're part of a class, which, you know, that's cool, like, that's dope. You're a real fan of his, and I think he would really appreciate that and accept that, you know. Doesn't mean somebody can't become a fan. But me as a person, I think his marketing, the all money in, because that makes a big deal, you know, the P4F, the OTFs, the 400s, YG 400s. Everybody has like something on the side of that, you know. You have Dream Chasers, DC, you have OVO, you know, that owl. You have TDE. Kendrick is not really like that though. He wasn't really like a flashy type of cat. Actually, the whole TDE really isn't kind of like that, which is pretty interesting. But that all money in, as I think that's like was marketing, you know, that was beautiful, you know. I just as the OVO is, you know, just as, you know, October's very own. That's pretty dope, you know, because that's his birthday's in October. You know, you got TDE, Top Dog Entertainment. Even Kendrick got PG Lang now. And I think that 4 Pockets Full, 4PF, I think that's pretty dope, you know. 4 Pockets Full. You know, Little Baby shit, you know. It goes down to G-Unit, you know. It goes down to the names of these rappers. I find that fascinating, you know. I find that really fascinating, these names, you know, these names and these brands, you know. I found that fascinating about the crew I was part of, you know. You know, I think we had some of the best, you know, branding out there, and we continue to have that. So I don't know, for some reason, I was more trying to have this conversation with this gentleman about that, but I started noticing that he was pretty. There was one moment he was trying to, like, all of a sudden he flipped on me. He's like, oh man, like, you know when you're conversating with somebody and either they got to get back to work or they got to get back to doing something, so they start insinuating like, I gotta go. He was really like, he switched, like, hey, don't you got somewhere to be, or like. So I started noticing that, but I'm like, you know, I know, like, I'm not gonna like I don't want me to start getting a little fight or flight. You know, I don't want me to start getting like kind of a overly cautious and then like start engaging with them and get real negative, you know. But I noticed like he must, this is something he does because he had like a cut on his face. So I think recently somebody put tips on him, and I don't think it's a normal person. Probably somebody maybe also going through some shit, whether it's like, you know, he probably fucked with somebody that was on drugs or maybe a violent person, you know. Someone like me, like, I would have defended the fuck out of myself, you know. But I was smart enough to avoid those situations, you know. So I started noticing it, and but at the end of the day, I felt a little more safer with that person than like a normal person who's negative, like a normal person who's like, I would say a more intelligent individual, more smarter. Like I felt a little more comfortable than engaging with someone who's like maybe intelligent, quote unquote normal. For some reason, I felt still a little more safer with that person with that fucked up schizophrenia. I think that person has schizophrenia, you know. And I don't know why. It's weird, right? I'm more afraid of these fucking smart people. I'm more afraid of the smart people, the normal people. I'm more afraid, meaning like I'm more like where you'll feel that fucking pressure. You'll feel that like my tension. You know what I'm saying? So he just like flipped, I guess, cause like I bet he mentioned it because I wanted to mention it. I didn't want to seem like I was a fucking major fan of Nipsey. Cause I was trying to be real. So when I said that, oh, you weren't a fan before or something like that. Because I had brought up like him passing, obviously, but I brought up I try to really emphasize about the branding and how like I think Nipsey was like a great brander. Like even with that Crenshaw T-shirt, so simple, you know. But you know, what would have sold more if you would have put Nipsey in that type of writing or Crenshaw in that writing? I think putting Crenshaw in that writing was amazing. You know, I think that was absolutely amazing. You know. Simple, you know. I think he was very smart, like the all money in, like it was amazing, bro. Very all money in. Like you think about it, like you put in your money to make more money, you know, as you grow, you know. And unfortunately, you know, but look in the Bible, it talks about Moses. Moses didn't get to see the promised land, you know. He didn't get to see really the fruit of his labor entirely, but for his family, I'm sure God's still blessing them today. And so yeah, he kind of like changed on me, like, cause, and I kind of fucked up a little bit, but I meant like first song that was really big, like huge, like to reach my city, to reach me and my homies literally driving in our car, bumping his song. Like I thought he was famous when I heard Nipsey's biggest song was "I Don't Give a Fuck." I'm sure if you're a bigger fan, you might know other shit that was better than that, more concept. It depends what conversation and what setting you go to with people and what they find important. I might be in a more intelligent, be around more people who are more, let's say not too focused on negative stuff and more positive, and they might not want to talk about an "I don't give a fuck" song, but more want to talk about like maybe a more, you know, song that Nipsey had that was more was more enlightened, to show his, look at Nipsey was smart even back then, you know. But this guy, like I say, was schizophrenic and stuff. Like he was more like, oh, like he was trying to be like more on the gangster side, like, oh, or the more the like, oh, you didn't know Nipsey back then, like I'm not gonna talk to you. He was like, once he found out I wasn't a Nipsey fan before he died, he didn't want to hear nothing I had to say. Like I said, he was just having his own. I think he felt something in his head that triggered him, and he was just protecting himself, and also just didn't want to get no situation, you know. Because he was like, hey, bro, like I'm sick. He ended up bringing it up again because like what had happened was he laughed at me. I felt kind of stupid because he had said, oh, you weren't a fan back then, or like you didn't know him back then, or something like that. So I, like an idiot, I was trying to justify myself. I was like, maybe that's something I got to work on. Like, fuck justifying yourself. Just fuck it. Like, forgive yourself, you know. Just be normal, you know. Be appreciative that you're alive and you're just talking, you know. So I kind of fucked up by like, I guess if we were trying to get in a debate, I would have lost or whatever. But I wasn't trying to do that. But he kind of laughed at me. He kind of challenged me or something in a sense. But he told me himself, I'm sick. He said, oh, he was, because I was like, I did bump his shit back in the day, but like I said, I'm not much of a, I don't do too much of a deep dive into certain artists or to artists in general. Like when I was hearing Nipsey, he was on a CD, and it was I didn't have no internet at the time. Like, you know, I have friends that like they were always on the computer, like deep, like those are the guys you wanted to give like, if you had like a USB. Back then we had iPods, like they'll fill up your shit, you know. My homie could have made some money by charging people to fill up their iPod shit, like, and he could still be a DJ. Like if I opened up a club or something, or like a hip hop spot where he would just go and maybe where it's a positive place of art and stuff, you know, like I want to create a space like that and maybe charge people to come in, like a clubhouse or something, where it's just positive though, and people come and do their art, you know. But I could charge, you know, people just pay like a little entrance fee. That sounds like a great idea. It's all about the leader. If the leader's positive and keeps it positive, even if shit on the bottom is creating, like, that foundation is solid, you know? And anything, I'm just giving advice. So let me go back to, I told him I did listen to music back in the day. I mentioned the I Don't Give a Fuck song. And he's like, that wasn't his first song or whatever. Or he had mentioned it, like he had an album before, or like, he mentioned something. But he knew his shit because I guess All Money In, he's like, yo, yeah, he said he met Black Sam. Black Sam is Nipsey's brother. So I guess he knew like really in depth. I guess Black Sam must play more of a part in the All Money Inside. And I guess TMC, it might be more of a Nipsey shit, or was more Nipsey stuff, because he just kept mentioning TMC. And in my head, when TMC, I'm thinking about my basketball team because we're hashtag TMC. So like, to me, it was like, it was like, because me, I like the All Money In more. On the branding side, the All Money In for me is like, it just sounds better. The A money sign I, ASI, A money I call it A money I. Shout out to both of them, TMC. Shout out to all the TMC. Shout out to All Money In Records, everybody. I fuck with everybody, man. And yeah. So when I told him, because he had mentioned something about, I don't know how he came up with that, he brought up how Nipsey had old records or something, and I just said like I listened to Nipsey like the I Don't Give a Fuck song back in the day. He laughed like, he's like, that wasn't his first song. I think I accidentally said first song. I remember I used to listen to his first song back in the day, but I meant like first major song, you know. That was the first song I heard. So I'm not saying that was his first song, but I guess I said it in a perfect way where he could laugh at me like, like, bro. And all of a sudden he's like, bro, you gotta go somewhere, bro. Like, bro, you gotta go somewhere. Like, if I was too stupid to like be there talking to him, and then that's when he brought up, hey, bro, I'm sick, bro. I'm sick. I don't want to get you sick. You should just leave. And I wanted to be a little upset or be like a smart ass. I wanted to say, oh, what, you got COVID? But in a way that was like, fuck you, you know, for laughing at me. But like I said, he was sick. He's obviously gets in these situations. Somebody recently touched him up, you know. So then fucking, I walk away. I didn't walk away. I ended up saying something like, is it COVID or something? But I said it like in a way where like was same level of how he was saying it, same tone. And he was also saying something. He was like mumbling, but I knew what he meant. He meant like, you know, he's sick. But I went in for a pound. He didn't want to give me a pound. That's when I said about COVID. But I knew what he said. And so like the last thing I told him was like, hey bro, I'm sick too. You know, meaning like about my bipolar disorder, my like kind of like how sometimes I could be real positive and then real negative. How I get like, you know, paranoia, PTSD, you know what I mean? And how, you know, there's low self-esteem, you know, at the same time very competitive. I like to give it my all at things, you know, and mix with like, I don't know what you call it, like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna beat myself up with words, but so it was an interesting morning with that guy. He heard me, but I guess I did have bars with that infinity symbol. If infinite beauty. That's what I said. Right away he was like, bars, bars. So when I left, I was like, obviously reflecting. I'm like, you know what? He was paying attention to my conversation. I was not gonna have a conversation with the individual, you know. But I'm accepting because I know he's not normal, you know. I know he has his issues. So anyway, so when I get out the restroom, he's gone already. I don't know if he spooked himself out. You know, he might have been like, fuck. He might have got paranoid after. He might have been like, fuck, why did I come off like that? He was talking to me normal. Why did I make him feel stupid, you know? And I have those situations too. I might be a crazy guy like he was in that situation to me. Not crazy. I was accepted to him. Maybe that was God showing me like there's people around you that are accepting to you, you know? You just got to trust it, you know? I might be weird in settings around people, you know? That care for me or like maybe acquainted with me. So anyway, I come out of the restroom, he's gone, but that he's like an angel to me. That guy Robert, he's like an angel to me for some reason. The one that walks, I guess. I don't know where he lives, but I know he walks. I always see him walking towards the shopping center or walking back to where he came from. You know, sometimes with a drink of what he just ate, you know. So some indicators, you know, saying that he came to OE or maybe came to the market. So he's still there, and like I noticed I left my water and my fucking phone on my portable charger somewhere in the fucking dining area. I noticed when I was in the restroom. So I get done using the restroom. I'm in the restroom kind of reflecting like, dang, he kind of made me feel stupid. Like, you know, it's like, damn, was it me or I don't know. But I wasn't taking it too, obviously I didn't make it too much of a big deal. I was thinking about other shit too. I think I was a little faded. Thinking about yesterday's game. I don't know. So I come out and Robert's still there. So I told him, hey man, did you know that guy? He's like, nah. I'm like, did you ever see him before? Like, nah. I'm like, oh, okay. And like, I didn't make it about, I said something like, just to end that conversation with, like, talking about him. And I say, hey bro, oh, because I had mentioned something about him he told me he was sick or, well, I just kind of, I was talking to him and then I mentioned schizophrenia. Like I said, oh, like, I think that guy's like sick or schizophrenic. And the way Robert took it, he was kind of like he like, I don't want to bring up an illness because I don't know what he has, what he deals with, but I don't want to make him seem like if I was like insensitive to people with disabilities. So I told him, hey, I mentioned schizophrenic because I'm also sick. I've been diagnosed bipolar, you know, I have my issues too. So I mentioned it with a entitlement and comfortability of I understand. And I told him this. I told him, hey bro, I do this free online therapy, you know, where, you know, I'm in a group therapy with people with schizophrenia, paranoia, bipolar disorder, you know, eating disorder. And then I stopped and I guess I made him feel comfortable. And he has like a little kind of it's difficult for him to speak, maybe just because he barely meeting me. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he's more comfortable in other settings. I'm just letting you know how it was when I was speaking with him. And he says, you know, I made it out. I figured what he was saying. He's like, I have seizures and I take medication. And then I spoke about him walking a lot to go eat. I said, bro, you only walk once, you know? Well, because then I also said, like, do your seizures happen because of maybe, is it like a nervous thing? He's like, I don't really know what it is or whatever. And, but he takes medication and yeah, that was pretty much it. And then I mentioned him having to walk. So, hey bro, you know, I try to encourage him to go for another walk. You know, maybe at nighttime, you know, if you feel more comfortable at the nighttime, you know, go for a walk, bro, like, just to get out the crib or whatever. But who knows, when he gets hungry. I think I did ask him if he just goes for, I think I might have asked him, do you go for a walk after your morning walk? So maybe that's just his breakfast routine, breakfast and lunch, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe he has a home-cooked meal. I'm sure he has a family. And then I just told him, if you ever need anything, let me know. Like, pretty much anybody fucks with you. If you just need anything, dog, let me know. So, yeah, that was my morning. And then I ended up going back to my clothes, folding my clothes. Putting them in the dryer, folding them, waiting. I did some stretches. Like, I did like 2 sets of 10 push-ups. And right there where the laundromat, you could see there's a yes, this is on my left hand on my wedding finger. I'll explain that right now. It'll be the last thing. But so right there at the laundromats always have like a lot of windows, you know, you can see in it. Maybe that's like a security thing because there's always a lot of people in there. Maybe, I don't know. But the recycling spot in that shopping center is like in the back, where the laundromat's at. And I can see, and there's a beautiful girl that works. She's like in charge of like the money pretty much, and like she doesn't really get dirty. There's like a guy that will help the people who are recycling. She has like one helper, one gentleman, and she's beautiful. She's younger than me. She might be mid 25, early 20s. She doesn't look like she's over 26, but she dresses really nice. Like, the only once I used the recycling, I just don't feel they have it down. Like, I don't feel like they measure out everything, which I might be able to make more money there because I think they might tax more where I go at the other spot, which one day, but the thing is, at the other spot, I separate everything, you know, I separate every single thing. Like, I separate every type of glass, where it's scrap glass or like the green bottles, you know, because scrap is considered like, you know, the champagne bottles and stuff, some of the wine bottles, that's like scrap, you know. But I separate everything, you know, I separate every single thing, every type of plastic from every different material. So I like the routine of it. So I might try this spot right here, and we'll see the difference in the money. I kind of lagged it on recycling, only went 2 times this week. Partially it's because I was trying to rest for this final game for the playoffs. So this is what happens. Anyway, I just want anybody who might be lonely who watches my YouTube channel. She's beautiful, man. She has like this long hair. You know, like that long hair, it's not dry, but it's kind of like a nappy, like wavy look. Her hair's like that. Today she just looked absolutely beautiful. And I got to the laundromat like around a little after 8:30, so I parked in the back because there was more shade. So I had to walk over there to get to my truck. And I didn't really stare at her. I was staring at her from the laundry room. I know she was on her phone and stuff. It was kind of slow in the morning, right, when it first opened. It was like 10 at that point now. They open at 10. The laundromat I go to opens at 9. But I want to tell her, like, if any of these fools fuck up and you have to fire them, I'm down to work for you. But the first time I ever met her, I've seen her a couple times being at the laundromat, and she'll see me from a distance. I'll see her. But when I went one time, I was just questioning her because I was really like, I gave some advice, like, why don't you guys put a recycle sign in the front? Like, they don't have no sign, like, and that helps. Like, that just makes people be like, you know what, like, subconsciously just respect that. Like, oh, they have a sign, so I'm gonna go. Or if they ever have to refer that place, you know, they'll remember that sign, you know. It'll make a difference. And even like, because I'm sure they have to break off the person who owns the property, and the person who owns the property does business with every store there. And even putting like some signs like right in front, like let's say there's a dollar store right there, right when they walk in, just with tape, clear tape, like kind of laminate it up against, you know, tell them, hey, can I put a sign up right here? So when people walk in, they'll see, oh, these people are advertising. And just people kind of respect that more, you know? And so yeah. Anyway, so um, yeah. So that's the first time I ever met her, and as I was talking to her and asking her these questions, I didn't want her to think that I was judging her for working at that, recycle center. She obviously works for the person who owns it or something. They trust her. She must be a family member. I was giving ideas and things that I was thinking about, like, man, like, that's a woman you could grow with, like you could build like something with. I mean, I fucking recycle something that I do, but I want to get into growing a business, growing it more and bigger and bigger. And so I had, this was like a month ago. I haven't ever talked to her ever since. But and I thought about like thinking like, is this her business? Like, I wanted to ask. These are questions. These are things in my mind. You're like, you could grow this more. So she had like said a couple things where it kind of insinuated. She was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be here for too long." So, but that's not kind of what I wanted to hear. Like I just rather be like, I don't want her to think. I don't want to hear that she was insecure about it. I want her to also have that like idea, like, oh shit, like I want her to be like down for those ideas, to see an opportunity there, because it's ultimately about your money and how you could grow your stack of money. That's what it is. You have to focus on your money. And shout out to Sharp for No Jumper. I think that's what he's saying about not catching feelings with a woman is also like not catching feelings if you fucking sell a t-shirt. Don't catch feelings if that shit don't sell. Or don't catch feelings if you lose it. If you're a pimp, your product is the woman. If you lose the woman, there's going to be another one coming. Don't catch feelings on that. If somebody has an idea and that shit don't pan out the first day, they quit. Like that's what Sharp is saying. Like he wants people to get. That's when you're fucking the game up. Your stack of money is actually what's important. When you're a businessman, the money is you're a money man. If you're a businessman, you're a money man. They shouldn't even call it businessman. They call him money man. Because he's gonna be loyal to the money in an intelligent way, because he respects money. He doesn't want to lose the money. There's money man and a stupid man. Stupid man's gonna claim that he loves money up and down, up and down, up and down, but he's a stupid man because he spends the motherfucking money. He loses it off a girl, off of drugs. You feel me? So, like, that's a stupid man, not a money man. And I'm not talking like I know. This is just what I'm barely learning. And I want you to learn and be more. It's about growing your stack of money. And, yeah. I recently did a video. I don't give a fuck what people do. If you want to park and you cheat on your wife, you want to park somewhere. I'm the guy at the park is gonna see everything, right? But I don't give a rat's ass what the fuck you do. I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna be aware of it. And I do YouTube, so then I talk about it for people to be like, oh shit, that's what he's seen today. Yesterday, at another spot where I kick it at, there's some underground shit going on where I think people meet up and fuck. Homosexuals, heterosexuals, they meet up and fuck. It's like an outdoor fuck too. Or maybe they get into each other's car. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't give a fuck the details. But when I pulled up last night after my game with my Jack in the Box, one of these individuals literally was butt naked with their shit out. I'm not gonna say it was a man or a woman, whether they were jacking off or finger banging themselves, but they were literally like halfway popped out of their little hiding spot, that little diversion that blocks them from being seen. Like they were too fucking loose with it. They were fucking outside, like just out there, didn't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, because my channel's gonna get bigger and my city ain't that big. I don't want to get involved with the fuck you got going on. Don't get involved with me. I talk about shit. Don't take it personal. I don't give a fuck about you as an individual or how you choose to live your life. Just don't get me involved. I don't need to get involved, okay? But yeah, some freaky shit going on. Like I said, I wish there was more women, more fucking down, you know? I'm a heterosexual, you know, I love women. And it's actually at one of these corner stores. I ain't gonna say if it's a 7-Eleven or a fucking gas station. There was an old married woman, and she's really nice. I'm not gonna mention her name because I like talking to her and I want to keep her as a friend. And she seems really nice to talk to, and just to kind of like learn from how to fucking talk to a girl and be more comfortable with a female. And maybe I might have a conversation with her just to like get to know her. But I don't mess with married women, bro. It's kind of what this symbolizes. Like, it'll keep those women away that will try to get me in trouble. Like, it's crazy because I found this after my basketball game on the floor yesterday. And I've always wanted one. But it's kind of like a marriage to myself in a sense. Like, stay true to myself. Because trust me, like, she thought we were going to hang out yesterday. Because in those moments, like, I'm kind of reading signs to see how far I could get, like, to see, like, okay, how to, like, talk myself into a situation. Because I've never been really good with women. They mostly have, like, only in times of success did they ever, like, you know, when you're in school, you kind of don't even need communication skills. It's like, oh, you kind of feel like, oh, she's into me, I'm into her. I was too stupid back then, right? I was a little boy. And I was still a little boy when I was 18 and 19, but when I was getting my success with women back then, it was because I was successful at something that these women were interested in. Every game and every genre has it's women that are into that and will be willing to date you and have life experiences with you. So, but I never was able to do it just with my communication skills, or just like with nothing to offer. Now I have nothing to offer. You know, that's probably why an older married woman, you know, maybe her husband's out there cheating on her, and which I don't know. I kind of want to. I'm more interested in that story behind her. I want to actually talk to her about that. And if, you know, if she can convince me that her husband doesn't give a fuck, I still don't know, because that's going to be on my conscience, you know, in conversations when I'm with my buddies who are married and they have to bring shit up. I don't want to be that guy that has sex with married women. And my friends are these married men. I want them to trust me, you know. So I guess I'm talking about it, so, you know, but I am single, you know, and, but I do struggle with things that, you know, it's kind of a better if I learn to control myself and not fall for every, I also don't want to fall for like the next woman that comes. I want to go on dates, you know. So this is, I guess, if you're seeing this, but yeah, so that was my day. I'm sure you can learn a lot from me just speaking. For anybody, I'm gonna go for my run now. It's my Friday run, and I gotta go pee. I haven't ate, but I want to hurry up because I don't know. Somebody texted me right now. I gotta make sure. I'm not used to texting like my family, my mom. Okay, my mom just texted me about my daughter. She said my daughter's mom hasn't gotten back to her. That was 30 minutes ago, so I'm gonna respond to her right now. So this video is gonna be 59 minutes and some seconds, so peace, y'all.